Okay, we're going to spend a little time and we're going to take it to get apart and we're going to give it a total cleaning. And take this out. And I will lay that on my bench here behind me. I don't want that falling on the floor. All right, and then I should need a little tray to put all my bolts and screws in. I've got a bunch of these trays, and now I don't know where there is one. Let me do a little looking here. I got one over here. It's got a bunch of screws and stuff in it. Okay, and I got a magnet in it and it's holding the screws. Okay, got a little container here. Oops, my head hit the handle. Where are you at? Okay, so I've got a little container here. I'm going to wipe it out. I don't know. This is some of my father-in-law's. He gave me long before he passed away. He gave me these, and they're little bread pans the way it looks to me. But I take a magnet on them, and what I do is I throw a magnet in there. That way I don't, if I happen to bump this and knock it on the floor or whatever, I don't lose a bunch of screws. All right, so first thing we'll take off, let's take this out of the way. That's the finger. We'll take and put that over on the bench behind me. Okay, so now we'll take the air bearing itself off. And I have that, a couple of horseshoes with some small screws holding that down. A 1/4 inch wrench. And we'll take those out. I see I have them labeled. Back one. Too small for me to put my finger in there. I should just get some screwdriver screws to put in there. I wonder, I'll look to see if I got any screwdriver head screws to put in there. I did fail to mention that there's a hole going to the bottom side intersecting those grooves in there, and they're plugged the same as the same as on the end. I'll try to, and this hole, the main bore is centered on that block, so you know where to drill the hole that intersects that the grooves in the inside. if I can, I'll leave that in the air nozzle or the air fitting. I don't know why I made it so long, sticking out. Probably because that's the fittings I had at the time, because this is silver soldered to this other. It's just something that I had this whole thing is something that I just threw it together. This is all made out of, material that I had laying and junk. Okay, one more left. I might have to make this in a couple parts video. This cleaning. We'll take it apart here, and then when we come to put it back together, maybe I'll make it like that. I'll try to explain how I made it. Okay, got the 2 horseshoes to fit on there. We'll set those back there. And now the air bearing is loose. And when I made this air bearing, I go, well, how am I going to mount that on here? And I wanted it to be removable to take on and off. Well, I couldn't. Well, I suppose I could have squeezed a small screw alongside here, but in the stainless now. So I figured, well, I'll make these horseshoes to fit over, and it's been working. Okay. So I went through and showed the bore in the inside. Maybe I'll start this little camera up again and get some video, because that was the video you were looking at yesterday. Takes a while for that camera to start. Right. It's videoing. So now you can see the bores in there. This end is dirty yet, but there's 2 bores. And if you look on the bottom here, you can see the telltale signs of the plug and the plug. And then that plug there that intersects the 2 holes. And then this air fitting, or the supply fitting, goes in and just intersects that. So there's when I made it so that those were all, this is on center line, these are on center line, and then I just went the distance from here to the groove, and then same thing on the other end. And what I did was, before I finished the groove or the bore, I put those grooves in. Otherwise you'll have a heck of a time trying to deburr those in there. So I got it within 15 thousandths of what I wanted, and then I think I went like 30 or 45 thou deep with the boring, with a grooving tool, and grooved. Because that way I grooved it, took it out, flipped it around, I had it in a 4-jaw, dialed it in to make sure that it was dialed in, and grooved the other side. And then I went ahead and finished it. And then plus, when you're clamping this, you can't clamp it real tight, because you egg shape that hole. So you want to get it close, and then you want to just lightly clamp it. And that's what I did, lightly clamped it.
dialed in the outside, stuck the indicator in as far as I could, dialed it in to make sure that it was straight, and then I went ahead and finished that bore. And like I said, I think I left 15 thou, and then I ended up running back and forth in that bore, taking free passes until I even dikemed it and then made the free passes through there just to make sure that I had it, this bore, the same all the way through, no taper, no egg shape, no. So, okay, so now I'll get to this piece. This is the main piece for, moving your cutter into